Heyo everybody, Haku here with HaQ&A number 73. So yeah, as normal for the HaQ&As, we're going to be discussing some of the comments and topics you brought up in the comments. And we got 4 sections this week after a really super duper important general section. Really, everybody who watches the channel probably should stick through this general section. But either way, we got 2 kind of shorter sections and 2 longer ones. But yeah, before we get into those, and they're all kind of not that long, so I don't feel like this will be a very long HaQ&A compared to many others we've had in the past, some going as long as like almost 2 hours I think before. But either way, let's talk about this general stuff that I wanted to get out of the way. So basically, this entire month I have been doing nothing but working because things have been so hectic and so many things have come out of nowhere, especially at the beginning of the month. I've been trying to catch up all month, basically. I've just been getting videos up whenever I can get them up, which has kind of been a thing for the past few months now, but basically I've been working from the time I wake up at like 8 or 9 in the morning until 2 or 3 a.m., not just on YouTube, but other stuff outside of that as well, but still, that's a part of it. So I have had basically no breaks all month. I think I've had 4 breaks all month to try to play a video game, and it's only been like an hour or 2. But starting this week, not only for the spring season am I taking on less weekly anime so that I can go back and watch some older stuff, or at least that's kind of the goal. I'm going to start doing my videos kind of on a schedule again. Now, to get back on the schedule, it might take a week because this first week is going to be kind of busy. Easter is on the 1st, so yeah, I believe that's the way it is, so I've got to visit family then. Plus, I have a family birthday later in the week, so between the 2 things there, I don't know if that's going to throw off the schedule for this first week or not, but after this first week, we should be on par for what we need to do. And I'm going to explain it here. I put it in Discord and Twitter early to give people an early look to see what they had to say about it. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to have 2 videos a day, every day except for Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday. On Mondays, we're going to do the Tower of God live reaction first thing. That's normal. And the Walking Dead TV show review. There are only 3 more of those left, though, this season. So since there's only 3 more of those left, once we get through those, I might do something else on Mondays, I don't know, or I might just leave Monday for just the Tower of God live reaction and time to work on stuff for later in the week. Tuesday, I'm going to do the Tower of God review. I've been doing that on Wednesday a lot lately just because I've been busy with trying to catch up on stuff, and a lot happens and a lot happened over the weekends, and Mondays a lot was released that I had to try to all get out. But Tower of God reviews will be on Tuesday because I'm scheduling better and actually keeping myself to something decent. And we're going to have Magical Girl Raising Project read-throughs on Tuesday. Before I get into the read-through of Limited, though, in a couple days, well, probably the day after you see this, I'm probably posting this on Saturday, and then on Sunday I'll post the last read-through for episodes, and then next week I'll be doing the either next week or the next 2 weeks, I'll be doing the my favorite characters video, but I'm going to update it to include the characters from Restart. Yeah. And then I'm going to do my reaction video for the character designs for Limited, like I did for Restart. And then we'll get into doing the Magical Girl Raising Project Limited read-through every single Tuesday, and then once we're done with Limited, we'll move on to whatever's next. And then Wednesday, I'm going to do a second read-through video, and that's going to be the only video Wednesday. For the read-through video on Wednesday, I want to do B-Stars, of course, but I'm going to do other stuff too. It's not going to be the same series every single Wednesday, just so we don't get burnt out on any one series if it's really long. I might do like a B-Stars video, then a video catching up to Musco, since we've kind of not read that in a while, then another B-Stars video, then a video starting something new, reading the first few chapters of it, then another B-Stars one. I know we're doing B-Stars because I had somebody comment on the channel saying that it had gotten really good and that I should keep reading it, and it was something that I started and just didn't have time to continue on with. So yeah, Wednesday is going to be another read-through video, and I've gotten a bunch of suggestions for you, and if you have any more, just give them to me. Thursday is going to be alternating back and forth. 1 week we'll have a HaQ&A, so there's going to be a HaQ&A every 2 weeks like we've been doing, and that's going to be on Thursdays now. And on the alternating week when it's not a HaQ&A, it's going to be a special video. Now, special videos, it's probably going to be a top 25 video usually, because I still want to do the top 50 anime waifu videos, still working on that. But other than that, there are other ideas I have for those, and it seems like people have wanted more, people have asked for more, and when I post them, people enjoy them. I want to do another version of the top 25 Tower of God characters and top 25 Tower of God arcs, both because people have asked for that from me, and because it's been 2 years since I did those videos, so it'd be really cool to do the updated version to see how things have changed now that we have a lot more. And I also want to do a top 25 Boku no Hero Academia characters video, just because Season 3 is starting soon and I have been unreasonably hyped for this. This is the most hyped up I've ever been for an anime ever in my life. For Season 3 to start, I seriously have not been this way with a show before. I have been, while I'm working, I'll like just search up live reactions or discussions or stuff for the first 2 seasons, and I'll sit and listen to those while I'm working. So I have just been, the past few weeks, I've been all into Boku no Hero Academia, so while my hype is super high, I want to do a top 25 characters video. And if it's not on Thursdays, when it's not the HaQ&A, when it's the special video. If the special video isn't a top 25, it might be a discussion for any of the series we cover or anything. It might be a theory video. It might be a series review for a show that I like and I want to do a series review on like I've done in the past. Or it could just be a review of an episode from a show where I don't really want to review the show, but I thought that episode was really, really good and I want to review that. So any of that can be on Thursday when it's not the HaQ&A week. For Friday, it's going to be normal as long as Boku no Hero Academia live reactions and Boku no Hero Academia and One Piece chapters drop on Fridays. Then I'm going to have my live reactions to them up on Friday. If they move up to Thursday or to Wednesday, I'll just move everything else back a day to fit the schedule or whatever. But as long as they're coming out on Fridays, Friday's going to be the live reaction for Boku no Hero Academia and One Piece. Saturday is going to be my review for Boku no Hero Academia Season 3. Going to do that weekly. And it's also going to be the Magical Girl Site review every week, because I'm going to cover Magical Girl Site. And then Sunday is going to be the One Piece anime review. That's going to be back on Sundays. It's going to be my only video there, so that I can do that, post it, and have the rest of Sunday just work on other stuff or just relax a little bit. So I have some notes that I added into this schedule as well. The Walking Dead comic live reactions and reviews will be when the issues come out, which is the first Wednesday of every month will be the live reaction, and that means the first Thursday of every month I'll do the review. It'll be the next day. And then the same thing for Manmusu live reactions and reviews. Whatever day the new Manmusu chapter comes out in English, I will do the live reaction, and then the next day or maybe 2 days later, however long it takes, I'll do the review. Elf-Sama Yasararanai, the read-through will be up. I am so hyped for that series that as soon as the chapter's up, whatever day it comes up, that's when my read-through video is going to be up. I friggin' love Elf-Sama Yasararanai. And then the same will be true of 12 Beasts whenever we haven't had a new 12 Beast chapter in like a year, but whenever we do get a new 12 Beast chapter, the read-through video will be up. So yeah, those are all things that don't really fit on a certain day. They're just whenever the new chapter / issue is out. And then for anime, since we only have 3 more Walking Dead reviews on Monday, if it's on one of the days when I only do one video, like Monday or Sunday or Wednesday or Thursday, if it's on one of those days, I'm open to reviewing a 3rd anime. I don't know which one it will be. I'll have to start watching a few and see which one I like. It could be Family Creatures Days, or it could be Uma Musume. I don't know. Just if one really catches my attention that I really want to review weekly, I'm open. I'm not guaranteeing it or anything, but I'm open to covering a 3rd anime this season. Well, I guess technically a 4th since we're doing One Piece. And yeah, one of the notes is that, like I said, the Wednesday read-throughs will alternate between Beastars and something else, and then when we catch up to Beastars, it'll be between 2 other things, or 3 other things, whatever. It's just that it's going to alternate between series and not be the same series every single Wednesday. And then just explaining that the special video will be top 25 usually, but it could be discussion, a theory, a series review, any of that. Oh, and then lastly, I'm still working on getting the Patreon up to. That should be up soon. Again, that's not going to be anything. I'm not going to paywall any content behind that. If you have any suggestions of stuff I could do for the Patreon, I feel like it's going to be a work in progress. I'm going to set it up. I have a Discord anybody can join. I already try my best to answer every single comment and message I ever get. I try to be really interactive with anybody who wants to on Twitter, so like, there's nothing more, and I don't like hold my videos back however many days or anything. I post them when they're done. So like, that's the thing. I don't really have anything extra to give because I already give all the things that I see other channels saying, oh, we'll do this as a reward. But I guess if anything, I want to try out live streaming at some point, so maybe that can be the thing. Before I bring live streams to the channel, I can just sort of do some Patreon only live streams and some test live streams there. So I think that could be something that that could be something that might be good for Patreon. So either way, like I said, if you have any suggestions, that's cool, but Patreon's going to be a work in progress as we're going through it. So yeah, that's actually it for the general section. Just really important updates for the channel. So I hope that you're all as excited as I am, because I'm really excited to be getting back on a schedule so that I can actually keep up with things and actually not be working my ass off all the time, but rather just knowing what needs to go up when it needs to go up, because that's the way things used to be. And I feel like it kind of helped both me and the people, all of you watching. It helped us all out a lot when things were more structured. So I think having that structure back is going to be a good thing. But either way, that's it for the general section. The first series section we're going to talk about is Manmusu. Alright everybody, short Manmusu section here. But Nikos said, mad respect to Rakanera. Everyone else has completely forgot about Kimihito, while she's the only one who's working her ass off for people that she doesn't even like, no less, in order to help him. But boy oh boy, when she learns what Kimihito was doing while she was working, she's gonna be pissed. Well, I agree, Rakanera is the MVP of the household right now. No other member of the household is really doing anything that we've seen. But I don't think she's going to be as pissed as Mia. Like, all the different girls are going to have their own reactions, like Poppy, oh, that sounds cool, or Saria, Master, I'm so disappointed in you. And like, all these different reactions. But Mia is angry jealous on a normal, non-milky day. So Mia, on a day when there has been a lot of milking going on for the past few days, she is going to be very angry jealous. More angry jealous than just the normal baseline Mia. So, sorry, losing my voice. So, that's it for the Manmusu section, and, yeah, hope you enjoyed. Alright, next up we have a Tower of God section, and I chugged a bunch of water between this and the last section because I am losing my voice already. So let's try to make it through the Tower of God section. This one is a little bit on the longer side, but we're starting off with Lol, who says, I'd like your ideas about a discussion I had a while back about the necessity of Shinsu manipulation. I believe being able to control Shinsu is basically a requirement in the tower, even more so on higher floors like the 43rd floor. I do think regulars could make it to the 20th floor without Shinsu because it's been stated that it's relatively easy to get there from the 2nd floor. And even though the use of Shinsu is not always obvious with people like Rak, I still think that he uses Shinsu to reinforce or strengthen his body. The other party believes that someone could be a regular on the 40th floor or above just fine without Shinsu. But I think this doesn't make sense. That would mean that there could be rankers who don't use Shinsu, and that can't be true, right? I know Yurik was a high ranker without even, or was high ranker level without even using Shinsu, but come on, that's Yurik. What do you think? Is Shinsu manipulation necessary in the tower or not? And this is a really good discussion because I hadn't thought about it before the past few weeks, but I'd actually agree with the other party you were talking about. Because if you were to ask me before the last 2 chapters, I would have said that I thought everyone used a little bit of Shinsu manipulation and that a little bit was normal. But now, though, that we've seen that Rak basically doesn't and that Kun can barely form a bomb, I think that maybe we've seen that not everybody does use Shinsu. As people go up the tower, they don't need to use it to reinforce themselves, because we learned way back at the beginning that the Shinsu gets thicker and their bodies, as they slowly climb up, become more and more resistant to it to survive. So if somebody that's way up on the 40th floor comes down to the 2nd floor, they can move a lot more quickly and be a lot stronger because they're used to all of that thicker Shinsu holding them back. It's like if they were wearing ankle weights, and each time they went up a floor they were wearing heavier ankle weights, and then going down floors would be like taking those weights off. So that's kind of the way that the Shinsu thickness was described. At least that's my own analogy for it. So I think while most people, even if they're not wave controllers, I think most people still do learn Shinsu abilities as they climb the tower. There's probably a lot of characters and a lot of people in terms of the story who are non-wave controllers who don't use Shinsu because they have other techniques. And that kind of makes wave controllers even more special, because we see that, light bears have lighthouses, spear bears have all their techniques, fishermen are super special and all that. So it's nice to have the actual magic. I don't want to say magic style because that's a little bit more advanced in the future, but it's nice to see that wave controlling and controlling Shinsu might be even more special, and that makes more logical sense for how it was explained. So at this point, yeah, I think that even usually non-wave controllers learn something at some point, like Rak and Kun are learning now, even if it's just one small thing, like we saw Liroro can do the electric reinforcement of weapons, and Quant can manipulate Shinsu around him to make him invisible. So I think that rankers probably can do some stuff, but I don't know if it's technically necessary. Probably I'd say regulars, even if they're not wave controllers, maybe a normal regular would learn around the 60th to 80th floor a couple techniques using Shinsu. And here we're seeing Bomb's group, since they're more advanced, down at the 40-something floor, learning Shinsu techniques even if they're not wave controllers. So, yeah. Basically, in short, if you were to ask me before a few weeks ago, I would have said they all probably know something and that it is not necessarily a requirement, but they all know something. But at this point, after seeing what we learned the past few weeks, I would say that it's possible that there are a few who maybe even make it to ranker status without using Shinsu. But I think that's probably a rarity. I think everybody probably learns something, but they don't necessarily need to. It's not really a requirement. And next up, Ewan Green, sorry, don't know how to pronounce it. Andrassi's quality is most likely a dart or needle of some sort. This could represent her manipulation of Shinsu is meant to be quick or precise, instead of focused at large area of effect blasts. Rak's quality is definitely defensive in nature, but I like the idea that he may gain the ability to manipulate Earth-like objects in the future. Aguro is focused around being an excellent spear bear, making Rak and him an excellent team and combination between defense and offense. However, his quality was an ice spear, which would suggest the ice plays a big part in his quality. This could literally mean he has control over ice or uses ice in his attacks, or it could possibly represent his optimal fighting style, of gradually slowing down enemies with attacks, or something like that. Finally, Bomb, the absolute best explanation or theory on the orb was on Reddit, and he left a link, and if I forget, remind me, but I'll throw the link that he used down in the comments so that each of you can see it too. It essentially states that each piece that is seen of the orb represents 3 the three basics of a bong, making it the optimal weapon for wave controllers to boost their Myun, Bong, and Su, instead of having to take away from one of them to increase the others. Okay, so on this one, I think that I agree with basically everything they said. Andrasi's looks the way it does, probably like, or possibly like they said, because it's meant for direct attacks. Or I could see, one way I could see Andrasi using her quality is if she sent like, since it looks like a little dart, what if she sent like a swarm of a bunch of those little darts and controlled them sort of like, trying to think of something to compare it to, but I'm struggling. I'm trying to think. Razor Leaf from Pokemon. You send a whole like storm of leaves at people. So imagine that, except the leaves are like these little dart looking things. So I think maybe she could use her quality in a way like that. I totally am fully on board with the idea of Rak using earth or rock as an element more than just as a shield. And it looks like he's going to do that as of the latest chapter. But I'm totally into Rak using earth for a bunch of different stuff. I think that'd be cool, even though it's definitely going to be more of a defensive thing. And with Agaro, same thing. He could kind of do a lot, and we don't really know. We've seen him use it to like freeze the ground. We've seen him use it to make these barriers, these walls, and we've seen him use it to amplify the attacks with a spear. So we've got to the point where we don't know exactly which way he's going to go with specializing in it, but I think just the general use of ice is pretty cool. Yeah. Also, I read the Reddit theory or explanation, and it's actually really good. And I see the orb in a similar way, where I think it's a good weapon for wave controllers, and it plays heavily on the tension aspect that Edwam was focusing on Bomb learning, because it seems like the orb holds things steady and it gives Bomb sort of a receptacle to keep increasing and increasing and increasing the density and amount of Shinsu within the one static orb. So it's a good weapon for Bomb that makes use of his increased ability to use tension, if we're assuming that he, like his father, does have an increased ability to use tension. So yeah, that's it for Tower of God this week. Next up, we have a Mitsuboshi color section, very short, but Senraikai said this episode was great. Poor Nonoka. It was not a pleasant episode for her. Sick and beaten into submission by little girls while people stand and watch. I'm really gonna miss this series when it ends. I would love to be Nonoka. Wait. Seriously though, jokes aside. One thing I thought that was really good about that episode, I believe that was episode 11, was Nonoka, when she was sick or just had allergies, really. Nonoka's voice actress was great. I like the way they animated her to look like really sick too, and it looked like it wasn't like way over the top and played for laughs, but I don't know, they found the right balance with making the character look sick, and they did a really good job at it. But the voice actress did so well. The voice actress actually sounded like the sneezes sounded real, kind of. She sounded actually stopped up, and like, I don't know, the voice actress did a really great job of making herself sound like she had allergies. Yeah, and as of typing this, the show is over, and I am in constant feels from not having Mitsuboshi colors anymore. I am, like, the opening is still constantly stuck in my head and constantly repeating over and over. The opening is so great, best opening of the season, and I just get feels just thinking about the show. I miss it so much. I hope we get a season 2. I don't know if we will. It's kind of rare for anime, especially one like Mitsuboshi colors. But I kind of hope we do, just because it was so good. Mitsuboshi colors might be anime of the season for me. It was seriously that good. So, yeah, that's it for that section. Next up is Citrus. Alright, lastly we have a Citrus section. This is kind of on the longer side. We got some pretty meaty discussion in here with a pretty long comment to start us out. First comment is from Bride's Biscuit, who says, Maybe I haven't watched enough anime, but also having not read the manga, I'm always surprised at the events as they unfold in Citrus. The missteps are so numerous that they have turned into a comedy or tragedy of errors depending on how you look at it. Mei has clearly struggled with trying to do what she perceives to be the right thing by her grandfather for the academy, and to behave correctly, as she believes the world views acceptable romantic relationships. Along the way, she acts and reacts towards Yuzu in immature ways, which I believe to be in part because of her problematic history due to her parents' divorce, her dad's abandonment, and her being thrust into the stressful role of taking over the academy. The mixed signals that she has sent to Yuzu throughout are likely because of her own mixed feelings on doing what's right by everyone versus later following her own heart because of her developing feelings for Yuzu and the doubts and insecurities she starts to feel and struggle with. I feel that she tests Yuzu to try and get confirmation of Yuzu's commitment to her. Yuzu fails time and time again in Mei's eyes, and Yuzu is further confused for her part by Mei's erratic and inconsistent behavior. Clearly Mei was jealous of Matsuri at one point and responded by showing an awkward display of emotion toward Yuzu when she was fidgeting with the teddy bear, and then later attacked Yuzu. Lol. My final thought I wanted to make was that I can see how Mei might be with Sarah now, as you suggested, only in an attempt at forcing out Yuzu's feelings for her. However, I also think it's possible that Mei might be running to Sarah because of the rejection by Yuzu, and in contrast, she has feelings of security that she's getting from a confident, committed Sarah who's confessed to her in a way that Yuzu's been unable to up until now. Mei was hurt by Yuzu's rejection at Christmas and Mei's earlier advances as well. I think in Mei's awkward way she's trying to show affection for Yuzu, and she interprets Yuzu's hesitation and inability to express her feelings in return as rejection, or just not serious enough and committed to be the love and acceptance that Mei desperately seeks. It's difficult to always know, though, because since the narrative is told by Yuzu, we don't know what Mei's doing or thinking until she reacts. One thing I do believe is that Sarah will land on her feet in any event. She's by far the most well-adjusted romantic interest in the story so far, even if she believes in love at first sight. She's also good-natured as well. Love your reactions and insight. Cheers. Thank you so much for the comment. For me, adding my own to the discussion, and that is a really great insight on the show and on the characters and stuff. Some more thoughts I have on it to compound upon that. I feel like Yuzu was constantly dealing with being attracted to Mei, but even though she was attracted to her, she was always pushing her own feelings away because she was like, okay, people will judge me because they'll say, oh, you're a lesbian, or they'll say, oh my gosh, she's your sister. So she had that fear of it's taboo, it's not normal, and so even though she felt that way for Mei, she was pushing herself away from it. And I think from Mei's reactions, we can assume that Mei felt the same way, that she was attracted to Yuzu, but she was still dealing with the taboo of it all. But Mei showed throughout the series that she was more willing to be together with Yuzu, even if it was just a secret thing when there weren't other people around. And even if she went about it in a way where she's like, oh, so you like me, let's do this physically, because she didn't really know how to express her feelings in any other way, and it came off maybe to Yuzu as cheap, because it was something that Mei was just showing the physical sides of things. She wasn't really showing what she was feeling. But I think that Yuzu could probably tell through the series from the way that Mei acted that she at least wanted something more, but she was she wanted something more. She wanted a deeper relationship, possibly romantic, but at the same time, Yuzu probably kept telling herself, and we saw that she told herself, oh, Mei needs a sister, Mei needs a friend. So even though she could probably tell Mei wanted something romantic, we could see she was kind of saying to herself, okay, Mei wants something romantic, but she needs a sister or a friend, and Yuzu was kind of putting her own thoughts on what Mei needed over what Mei herself felt like she needed. So I think Yuzu, she meant well and she cared for Mei, but in caring for her, and that was kind of the way things went in the finale, where in caring for her, Yuzu kind of put her own feelings above what Mei was feeling. put her own feelings of what should happen with Mei. And I would say because of how Mei used Matsuri to gauge Yuzu's reactions and what she would do to try to test, okay, is this how much she loves me? Does she really love me or anything? And she used Matsuri and all of her shenanigans to test Yuzu's own feelings. I feel like she kind of does the same thing with Sara. She does feel something for Sara, but I don't know how deep the feelings actually are, if they're actually romantic in any way. I'm willing to say they're not, because Sara, it was just a love at first sight, and then, oh well, she loved someone else, so even though it hurts, I'm okay losing that. So again, Sara being very well adjusted, like you said, but because Sara's feelings were a little bit light and ephemeral, I feel like Mei kind of might have been the same. I don't think she was really very romantically attracted to her, but I think that with the stuff she said, she at least feels bad about the situation. She probably feels very guilty about it, because Sara came straight out to her, said she loved her, and Mei has to deal now with, oh man, this person said that they loved me, but I've already got eyes for Yuzu pretty much. And so I feel like there's that. I feel like when she runs out to Sara, a part of that might be a little bit of guilt there, where she's like, Sara said that she loved me, and now I'm basically abandoning her and leaving her behind because I love Yuzu. So I think that might be a bit of how that relationship is. But again, that's just me making assumptions, because like you said, and like I said, I believe in the reviews, we don't get to hear Mei's perspective. We don't get to hear her thoughts or her side of things. We only see or hear Yuzu's thoughts and her actions, and then Mei's reactions to them. We don't actually get to hear what Mei is thinking. But I would say that from Mei's reactions at Christmas in that scene, I would say that she feels for Yuzu just as strongly, or maybe even more strongly, as Yuzu feels for her. It's just that we don't get to quite know that because we're not seeing it from her perspective. Yeah, those were kind of some extra thoughts I had there. And then the second comment discussion thing here we have is going to be talking about more of shoujo-ai in general. FDD Site 11 said, sorry, I don't know how to put this politely. There are comments I get from time to time from many of you, which is totally fine, and I can tell that for plenty of people, English isn't their first language, or they might struggle with it here and there, and I do my best. I understand what everyone's saying, and I reply as best I can. So yeah, don't ever worry about commenting or anything if English isn't your first language. I can figure it out. I can find a way to figure out what you mean and answer you and talk with you. But for the sake of the HaQ&A, I'm sorry if as I'm reading this I struggle a little bit. I just I didn't want you to think anything was up if I was like trying to reword stuff and all that. But they said if there's another season, like I'm basically gonna have to translate it into what I think they're saying. If we get another season, there's going to be new people, and it's going to develop everyone even more, even more than the drama we recently got. Everybody wants a season 2 up in Japan. It's a shame others like you didn't give the show a higher score. Some only gave it a 6 or 7. Some totally dissed the show. I hope for more, but we have to wait and see. And yeah, I saw the same thing you saw. I didn't see many people appreciate the show for what it was. A lot of people were comparing it to other shows, but I thought it was really good for what it was. Because it was like, you could bring up a lot of things. It wasn't that funny. Well, it wasn't a comedy. For a romance, I thought it was good. For a shoujo-ai romance, there's very few better. There's only one I've seen that I would say is one I'd say is better at being a shoujo romance, and one I'd say is maybe better even though it isn't a shoujo romance. It's better at being a shoujo romance just because it's that good. Yeah, thank you for your comments throughout the season too. And I do hope for more. I'd like to see a second season, especially since the manga itself is pretty popular. I could see it happening. Kind of hope it does. They replied, yeah, no worries. I liked your reviews. Fingers crossed for more Citrus. And I said, until then, we do have more Yuri anime airing next season, talking about Tachibana-kan 2. See, I've seen it translated as Tachibana-kan 2 Triangle and Tachibana-kan Triangle. I think it's actually 2 Triangle, and that might be actually just a pun, a play on words for triangle, because triangle makes more sense. But either way, we have that airing next season, though sadly it's a short form. But FDD site said it depends on the sales for the manga, and anime, whether we get a second season too. And I'll try to catch some, but time is a factor. And Citrus is my favorite. But no problem. Enjoy whatever time may bring. And Bride's Biscuit said, for most of the reviews I've seen of Citrus, they range from neutral to negative with very few positives. I'm wondering what they're comparing this, or wondering if they're comparing this to other Yuri and Shoujo Ai, because I didn't hear any comparisons. I had a mostly positive experience with Citrus, trying to get a sense of what to check out next. Because I bailed on Strawberry Panic and Sakura Trick was light fluff to me, what are you looking forward to at this point for the genre? For me, like I said, I'm looking forward to Tachibana-kan, Tachibana-kan 2 Triangle or Triangle. And for suggestions I would give you for more Shoujo Ai, I would say my favorite, Yuri Kuma Arashi. I watched Yuri Kuma Arashi under the impression that it wouldn't be good, and it would just be a funny, bad anime to watch. But it ended up blowing away just me. Like, it was incredible. It was so good. It was really, really artsy and special to me. And 2 years ago, so that might not be in my top 10 anymore, but 2 years ago I made a video of my favorite anime of all time, and I'm pretty sure I put Yuri Kuma Arashi at like number 10. It might have been number 11. It might have not quite made the top 10. But Yuri Kuma Arashi was super high up for my favorite anime ever. It was so good. And it's a Shoujo Ai, a Yuri romance. And another suggestion I'd give is the other one I was talking about that I brought up earlier that might be better at Citrus than at being a Shoujo Ai was Kobayashi-san Chino Maid Dragon, or Miss Kobayashi's Maid Dragon. Maid Dragon was a comedy. It wasn't a romance, and yet it had this romantic subplot going on through it that was one of the best romances I've seen, because it wasn't a focus, because it just naturally felt like it built and grew throughout the season, and I really like that. So it's better than most romances I've seen, not even being a romance. But yeah, I'm not sure what other people were comparing it to. I really enjoyed Citrus. I thought it was definitely well above average. I thought it was a good show. The animation was good. I thought it told a nice story. I really can't think of any big negatives. Other than the first few storylines were a little bit too NTR-ish for me. But even then, that's kind of a small thing that didn't last very long and we moved past it in the story. So yeah, I feel pretty positive about Citrus. I've seen a lot of negatives. I think just the negatives might be... I don't know what to attribute it to. People seem to be negative about a lot of things these days, unless they get super popular or they have a sort of in-style studio handling them. But I don't know. I don't know what to attribute it to. It's not everyone's thing, and there are always people that complain about everything in anime for some reason. It's like, I see all the time people that seem like they're just watching a show to hate on it. So yeah, I don't get it. I don't know. But I enjoyed it. Either way, sorry if I got a little bit low energy through this video. My throat is starting to hurt. My voice has been wearing down throughout the video. So I'm going to go ahead and end it. Like if you did like the video. Comment down there to, well, I mean, I guess there's a lot of things to comment if you want to, from like the schedule to suggestions to discussions. So comment what you want, and I can talk to you in the comments. Follow on Twitter if you want. Subscribe for more stuff. that schedule is really, really important. So I hope you're cool with all that. Then yeah, I guess that's it. If you want a link to the Discord server to talk to me or more of us there on the Discord server, just ask and I can give you one. It's probably best if you ask in the comments. Just comment down there, say, hey, give me a link. Because YouTube messages are just a completely stupid system. So yeah, don't even mess with YouTube messages, because they don't give you, because YouTube messages, for some reason, they don't give you notifications, and the only way to get to them is to go like way within your profile. So it's not user friendly at all. So I would say just avoid those. Just comment it down there. That way I'll for sure see it. Even though lately I've seen comments show up and I've been like, I don't remember getting a notification for that. So sorry if I miss comments sometimes. Sometimes, I think lately I haven't even been getting notifications. YouTube is just really screwy and not user-friendly at all. And it seems like they take all the good things and just make them worse and worse. But either way, that's a discussion for another day. Thank you all so much for watching. Sorry if I was a little bit low energy because I'm struggling to talk a little bit. But that's it. Thank you again for watching. I'll see you all next time.